What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about a simply massive PlayStation L because I feel like it's been a very long time since I've seen Sony just mess up this badly. One of the biggest wins of the year has been the release of Helldivers 2, a game that's seemingly been made with a very tiny budget, but has accrued a simply staggering fan base. It's got memes, it's got playtime, it's got tons of obviously hundreds of millions of dollars of easy profit, and now PlayStation has essentially just killed it. But let's take a look at it and sort of pick apart why this is such a stupid mistake that they are doubling and tripling down on. Hi, I hope you're having a great day. If you could, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Last night I had a big birthday party, so honestly I was up till like 3 a.m. drinking with the bros. I apologize if my voice sounds a bit scratchy, but it's video game time. So what it is Helldivers 2 has now been officially pulled from Steam in 177 countries because they have this new PlayStation Network rollout. In order to play this game on Steam, you are required to link a PlayStation Network account. And in a lot of countries, that doesn't exist. PlayStation Network, I know a lot of times we think about it as this easily accessible, you sign up, it's, set it and forget it. But in a lot of parts of the world that have fast internet and reliable servers and very active fan bases, it doesn't exist. So for those people, they just can't play it. They can't buy it. And additionally, Steam is giving refunds. The game has been officially deactivated in 177 countries, and everybody is making fun of it. Corporate brain rot is removing your game from sale from nearly 200 countries instead of admitting that your account system is unnecessary. Now, this is such a wild misstep that I feel like they are going to have to backtrack on. I feel like there's no way they can actually stick with this with the amount of money and bad PR they're going to get. Like, here's Destin Legary. Here's a crazy idea. What if they dropped that PSN requirement and made it optional, but give you incentives if you choose to do so? Or I guess you can continue to have this public relations nightmare. Now, if you actually go through the list, in my opinion, this is a lot of countries that are pretty big. Jamaica, Sri Lanka, we've got Burka. I mean, the amount of these that are crazy, including stuff like Puerto Rico, like, these are not just Rwanda, like tons and tons of places in here. This is 177 countries that literally cannot play it, that can't buy it, that can't interact with it. The Philippines, Pakistan, this is so weird to me because obviously, think about the people that are already playing it. Think about the people that already bought it. They're refunding it because the game is now just deactivated. If you actually look at Steam, currently it's getting downvote bombed to heck. They actually gave it 211,000 negative reviews just in the last 24 hours. This is catastrophic, but I actually want to take a look at this because I think I'm annoyed that I talked about this initially on Friday, and if you look at my comment section of my video, because it did pretty well, a lot of people are saying, people are overreacting. It's not a big deal. Just make a PlayStation account. It's whatever. Clearly, that's not the case. This is actually stuff. These countries do not have access to PSN. It's not like you can just use a VPN and jump on the servers anyways. It seems like it's actually completely just inert. The game that you have already been playing, that you've already been enjoying, that you've already done unlocks and battle passes and squadding up with the bros is now just dead because Sony made them do it. Now we're going to take a look at some tweets from the CEO here in a second because he's being very careful with his words, but it's obvious that he is just as mad as we are. The guy who's actually in charge of Helldivers 2 is kind of pissed that PlayStation is making his game get bad reviews when he made such a good game. But I actually want to take a look at this. Actman, obviously very big YouTuber, said this: Sony are the biggest pieces of crap. Arrowhead spent 8 years crafting the biggest live service game that defies all trends of modern AAA gaming, and Sony screws it over and the developers get the blame. This is so perfectly put. I think of all the tweets we're going to look at today, this is by far my favorite, because it is wild that straight up Arrowhead is a very tiny team. There's actually been rumors that Sony wants to buy them because it's wild they managed to make a game that's so big and so fun with such a teeny tiny budget. Clearly, it just shows their amount of passion. And Sony decides to swoop in and just completely squash the goodwill, the hard work, the passion poured into the project because, oh, we want to boost PlayStation numbers. Now, the current rumor that we don't exactly have confirmation on is that this is an attempt from Sony to boost their basically PlayStation Network signups. That because they are a corporation with shareholders and stock price, they want to be able to have like a board meeting and say, oh, 5 million new people are on PlayStation Network this quarter. When that's definitely not the case. These are people, they are already getting the money. Stuff like this is so dumb, but it's like, okay, they can't just be happy that they sold like 20 million copies of Helldivers 2. It additionally has to be these stupid metrics of increased growth. You are getting raw cash by the dump truck. Why is that not enough? But here's people actually talking about this. Here is the CEO, and he is a very interesting guy to follow on Twitter because he's very open. He's talked about weapon balancing. He's actually talked about his dream is to make Helldivers as big as something like Uncharted or God of War. He wants it to be a classic PlayStation IP that stands the test of time, stuff that we're still talking about when there's a Helldivers 3 or a 4. Clearly, this is the kind of CEO that I think is great in the industry, where he's a guy who cares about the game beyond just sales numbers or concurrent players. He wants us to have as much fun playing it as he had making it. And people are asking the question, okay, what do I do if PlayStation isn't supported in my country? And he's like, I don't know. There are actually tons of tweets of him just straight up saying that he is just as pissed at Sony as everybody else. Like Actman here said, it's pretty funny that the community who's been trained to focus their efforts on a singular goal managed to make 100,000 negative reviews in real life. Our training has paid off. And right here, this is the CEO actually joking about it, doing like a Power Rangers. Whoops, what did I just do? There we go. Doing like a Power Rangers thing. If you look at a lot of his tweets right now, he is basically like, yeah, man, this sucks. Well, this is interesting. Just in the middle of filming this, there's an extra tweet where he's straight up talking about this controversy and the chaos of it. Is this our moment? Is this one of those, what, don't you guys have phones? So yeah, he's kind of making fun of when Blizzard completely pissed off their entire fan base with Diablo Immortal. And he says this: on a serious note, we're talking solutions with PlayStation, especially for the non-PSN countries. Well, that's fantastic. Your voice has been heard, and I am doing everything I can to speak for the community, but I don't have the final say. And I noticed this person give a kind of a rude reply, but he does actually reply to it. Why are you acting blameless? Like you should have known for probably years that PSN would be a requirement, and I bet that it was your call that it would not be enforced in the beginning to help with server load. I do have my part to play. I am not blameless in all of this. It was my decision to disable account linking at launch so that players could play the game. I did not ensure players were aware of the requirement, and I didn't talk about it enough. We knew for 6 months before launch that it would be mandatory for online PS titles. See, I'll be honest, my favorite thing is CEOs that don't make excuses. This guy is the creator-director for Helldivers 2. He was directly in control of it, and he's straight up like, yeah, man, this sucks. People are getting screwed over. I'm getting screwed over. Our game is getting screwed over, and I'm taking that on the chin, but I'm trying to fix it. The weirdest to me, though, is still the fact that they're removing it from sale. The fact that they're actually taking this off the market is still just the weirdest thing of like, that you already sold the game. Steam is going to have to do some of the biggest mass refunds ever in the territories where this game is no longer available. So I'm sure Steam is definitely just as pissed at PlayStation as a lot of the fans are. This is so crazy. Imagine having one of the most successful games of the year with one of the best communities ever and just nuking it from orbit to force people to sign up for accounts they don't want. If you haven't been playing Helldivers 2, by the way, I'm dead serious about this. They legitimately do have one of the best communities. Everybody talks in character. It's super silly. Everybody is super welcoming and does emotes. Random matches are a blast. Everybody stays in character. Like, this is a game that is truly one for the ages. And additionally, a thing that's not talked about enough is that this sold more on Steam than it did on PlayStation. And this is a big PS5 hit, but it's even bigger playing it on PC. So the idea that they're purposely nuking the biggest chunk of the fan base to boost PSN numbers, absolutely psychotic. All right, one last tweet here. Not gonna lie, this decision is crazy and objectively bad. If PSN login being added requires you to delist and refund thousands of people from certain countries, then it is objectively a bad decision for business and gamers. I guess this is the note I want to end on. PlayStation, I feel like you guys are very profit focused. You're always trying to think how to make the next game, the next sequel, the next cool live action trailer for the big game to get those numbers up. But there is a point where you have to say, are we just screwing ourselves over for a temporary payoff? A lot of these companies will do a thing where they'll fire a bunch of staff or liquidize a part of the company because it makes their profit margins in the temporary go up, but then studios close. Then ideas can't be formed. Then the ideas that are supposed to be coming next, the ingenuity all falls apart. This is definitely one of those times where PlayStation has the concept of, oh, we're generating more profit, but they're doing it at the cost of killing the game maybe permanently. Have some forethought. Have some brain cells. Make the login optional. Maybe it's too late. Maybe they're too stubborn. But PlayStation, you just took the biggest gaming L. But what do you guys think about it? Are you excited for whatever comes next with Helldivers 2? Or are you one of those people that has officially quit the game? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.